social media, and today's topic with the Beardos is all about social media etiquette. Now here's the thing, a couple of things sprung to my mind straight away when we chose this topic. One of those things was Facebook, right?
Yeah.
The common thing that happens on Facebook, from what I've noticed, is a lot of people, and I don't know why this is, most people from the property industry, people who are property investors,
Okay.
yeah, people whose business is all about properties. A lot of people in the property industry, they connect with you and then straight away throw in a request to like their business page, right? I don't know them.
Specifically in that industry.
It happens to me more commonly. I'm not saying everyone's like that.
Okay.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, it happens to me most commonly with people from that particular industries. So that's on Facebook. I mean, LinkedIn is no different. I mean, it's not the property market on there. On there is people who are wanting to sell their sales service, getting you more leads using LinkedIn. So we can help you get more leads using your LinkedIn account. So they want to manage your LinkedIn account, and they want to help you get more leads or more sales, generate more sales and stuff like that.
Okay.
So on both those platforms, there seems to be a common theme. I don't know what your experience has been. I know you get some really dodgy requests, don't you?
I think we all do, but coming back to the etiquette side of things. So somebody sent you a friend request.
Yeah.
You've got a few mutual friends. They don't seem like a psycho, whatever. You think, okay, I'll accept that person. The very first thing that they do is invite you to their business page or send you a message inbox advertising their business page.
Yeah.
Bad etiquette.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly,
This is it.
Yeah.
There is no industry, no field, no type of business where that sheds you in a good light.
Well, the analogy,
where that works well for you.
Yeah, it's the analogy of going into a room, a networking room.
Yeah.
You meet somebody for the first time.
Yeah.
And you shake the hand and give them your sales pitch, give them your card, say, buy from me. You know, well, hang on a second. You've not told me anything else.
I don't know you.
I don't know you. You know, what kind of due diligence do you do? I mean, for me personally, on social media, especially on Facebook, because most of my connections, are people who are either professionals or business owners.
Yeah.
I use it for networking a lot. There are a lot of other people now who I've connected with, who I've joined up with, because there are some people you just can't say no to, like family and close friends. They may not be in your market in terms of business, but they're friends. You just can't say no to them, right? So I've learned over the years that social media usage isn't just keeping it bland and boring. You know, you have to spice things up a little bit. You have to add a bit of humor. You have to show a bit of your personality, because it's that what we talk about a lot is about the know, like, and trust factors. When people feel like they know you and they like what they've gotten to know, they're likely to trust you more.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah? And if you've got that know, like, and trust with your audience, with the people you connected with, then there's a higher chance that even if they don't need you for your services, you're going to be recommended. For example, in my work, I don't advertise this or referrals.
Well, you don't have to. Why don't you have to? So somebody's connected with you on social media. Naturally, they're going to see your posts. Whether they click onto your profile and want to have a quick sort of, window shop or whatever, some people do, some people don't. But either way, they're going to come across your content in good time.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be done.
Yeah.
What does it say about somebody who's out sending friend requests from their personal profile and then bombarding people? It's spamming people, isn't it? Do they still call it spam?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is, isn't it?
They're having to spam their business on people that they've just befriended on social media. Again, it is bad etiquette, but what does it say about them as a person, as a business person? What does it say about
I think there's more
business ethics?
Yeah, it says more about their business strategy.
Yes.
Than as a
Strategy,
business
and
person.
also, to me, it suggests they're struggling.
Yeah, it's like also...
Is that wrong?
No. Because if they've got that much time
Yeah.
to go, or if they've paid somebody, if maybe they've had the wrong advice by someone, maybe someone's advised them to do that, because back in the day, that kind of worked for a while. Maybe some people who have learnt that strategy from back in the day have completely ignored how to evolve in the industry and keep deploying the same strategy.
So that was a thing.
That was a thing, because when pages were new,
Yeah.
you know, pages you see, here's the thing: I can like everyone's pages, but it doesn't mean I'm going to see the content anyway. What they post, I might not see it, because the algorithms have changed with Facebook so much that back in the day, I could post something on my page and I would get similar views or interaction with the page as I do with my personal profile. Right now, if I post something on the page, those posts are suppressed because Facebook prefers you to pay for the boost and boost those posts or advertise, right? So it's not going to have much of a difference unless what they're doing is building a database of people, or at least a followership of an audience for that page, so that when they do promote something, they can use the followers that they have, the people who are the audience that they have following them, as the target market. So, you know, they may be doing that on purpose, so that, let's just say I've asked you to like my page. Now I know you and 100 or 200 or 1,000 other people have liked my page. In the future, if I've got something to promote, what I can do is I can ask Facebook to boost that post amongst you followers.
To the people who have liked the page.
Yeah. So maybe it's that, but it's still bad etiquette, isn't it? The thing is, you need to create a conversation. You need to get to know people. I mean, this example I mentioned before the break about somebody using WhatsApp and say, I don't get along with Facebook and it's never worked for me, blaming the tools. I'd never seen them interact with anyone's posts. Well, I had, but very, very rarely, right? Now, social media is one of those creatures, from my experience, where you have to be interactive. You can't just expect people to interact with your post. You have to interact with theirs as well. And the reality is, if you're not interacting with people's posts, Facebook will stop showing you their posts anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Because they're not of that.
Well, it comes back to the algorithm, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And vice versa. If you're not in their eyes, then you'll be forgotten. It's as simple as that.
So do you think people struggle to comprehend that their content is just not of interest to these people that they're connected with, so they feel the need to kind of, you know...
Possibly. It could be a number of things, couldn't it? It could be a bad strategy. It could be bad advice given by some social media
Well, it is a
guru.
bad strategy. I mean...
Yeah, from their minds, they might think it's a good strategy. I'm saying, but it could be down to the fact that it's simply a bad strategy. It could be the fact that it's a strategy which has been sold to them by a so-called social media guru, in inverted commas.
Which there's loads of.
Which there are loads of, yeah. There are gurus and everything. And you know, talking of etiquettes, it's not just getting people to like your page. I've also noticed that when any of my posts become quite popular and, you know, I get a lot of interaction, a random person will comment and drop some advertising in the comment section.
This is I've noticed that. Anything, yes. So if there's too many likes, too many comments,
they know
there
people
will
are
always
looking.
be an opportunist.
Yeah.
Because every person prior to yourself who's commented on that will now get a notification when you comment. So they're forced to read it. And it comes back to this. It's as bad as WhatsApping people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're forcing people to read your content when they've not come there for that purpose. You know, they haven't come to you. They haven't. What's the word? Is it like organic growth, or, you know?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an issue, and I think it's across all platforms now, isn't it? Instagram, no different. Twitter, to be fair, I don't understand Twitter, but then I can't say Twitter is a bad platform.
Well, Twitter...
I just don't understand it.
Well, Twitter, its status is not regarded as a social media platform anymore. Well, it's been a few years now. Twitter is no longer classed as a social media platform. It's actually classed itself as a news app.
Twitter is...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this was a few years ago from what... I'm pretty sure it's still the case. It's classed as a news app because it's so fast-paced, you know, limited characters. They've increased it now.
When they say news app, anybody can have an account. Well, anybody can have multiple accounts.
Yeah.
So is sharing stuff on social media any different to... Well, a post is news, isn't it? If I share something on Facebook,
it's news.
Is it a social media post, or is it... It's news. It's news, isn't it?
It's news, yeah.
So I don't understand the strategy behind why Twitter might have done that, but it's still social media, isn't it?
It is. But I tell
For
you
all
what,
intents and purposes.
of course it is. And you know what? There's some news worthy of reading,
Yes.
and then so there's some news that
Yes,
isn't. I
definitely.
tell you what really cheeses me off. Right, I'm gonna lay it out. Right,
Bringing out the beardo in you now.
this is it. The Beardos coming out now. What really cheeses me off is these narcissistic people who post cryptic messages or cryptic posts. You know they're referring to someone on their friends list. You don't know who. They're just having a go at people without identifying them. Like, sod off.
See, ranting in itself is bad etiquette, isn't it?
Well, it depends on how you do it. I've had a rant once. No, maybe not more than once. Maybe more
Once
than
for
once.
every white hair on your beard.
Well, I've got a fair few of them. But for every rant, I've always made it. I've not just ranted and that's it, complained.
Okay.
I've pointed out, or I've highlighted an issue, maybe highlighted something which is worth highlighting. It could be a community, it could be a social matter. And I've proposed an alternative advice, right?
Okay.
From my own experiences. So it's not just a rant. It's not just like saying, it's not, you know, what I'm referring to when I say what really cheeses me off is like when people say something about, you know, it's about someone specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they won't say.
But they won't say the name, obviously. And, you know, that is different.
Okay. So the lesser of two evils is still an evil. Is that what you're saying? Is that the cryptic side of it is bad etiquette?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like, it's when you're targeting people.
See, I
you
think
know-
people would disagree on that.
I'm not sure they would.
I think there's
tell
some
us if you
difference of
disagree
opinion.
or if you agree with me. So what's the
Social media, especially on your personal accounts, I think a rant is every now and again, if it's somewhat
I
constructive,
think it's fine.
is justified. To
depends.
name and shame and to kind of make it too specific, probably
I'm
not
not saying-
good,
no, I'm-
irresponsible.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not suggesting you should name and shame.
Yeah.
I'm saying you shouldn't even be posting stuff like that.
At all.
Yeah. No, look, I'll give you an example, right? So there are a couple of people who I know who I was blocked by one of them and I blocked the other one.
Well done.
right.
1-0. Okay.
So yes. So one of them,
Before blocking them, did you get
Yeah.
the last word in?
I can't remember. Yes, and one of them I did. For the one that I blocked, yes, I got the last word in. But it wasn't one of those. Actually, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't get the last word in because I was avoiding having a conflict. But this person, you could tell, wasn't in the right frame of mind, and you get people like that.
Yeah, of
and
course, yes.
you know, the best thing is to avoid wasting your energy on energy vampires. That's what they are, energy vampires. They take your energy, they suck it out of you,
I like that.
And you know, you just don't want to. Why would you do something like that? Why would you even fall? And this is where emotional intelligence comes into
that
play. It's a bit of maturity.
Made its way onto Urban Dictionary yet? Because you should really kind of.
Probably is.
Urban
I'm
vampire, okay.
sure I must have
That's
heard
good,
the
that's
term
good.
myself somewhere, at some point.
Okay.
Erdas here on मैं भी करना
Modest.
but yeah, you know, there's
Okay.
one person who would always pick on people, right? Like refer to a third person again, seeing somebody wearing a suit jacket and their shirt is tucked in, right?
Okay.
And like kind of making fun of someone who maybe doesn't wear suits very often, and they don't realize that when you're wearing a suit, it's nicer to have the cuffs showing out, right?
Okay.
And making those kinds of comments. There's another person, the other person who I blocked, and it was things. What was it saying? They were saying something like he acts all professional but can't engage. Hashtag fraud. I'm like,
This is the cyber world, isn't it?
this is it. Do you know what I mean? And that's like cyberbullying. And I thought, you know
Yeah.
what?
No, it is.
People like that, I just don't want to even know. I don't want to be in touch with people like
Yeah,
that.
of course, yeah.
They mess up with your mind. Why would you even want to be continually in touch with somebody who's going to force you down a negative path of thinking
Yeah.
and ruin your day? What the
Oh,
hell
definitely.
for?
And I think this is something that we learn over time and probably with age and wisdom and all the rest of it is, I suppose the newer that you are to social media or the younger that you are in life, you're going to find it more difficult to walk away.
I guess.
So it's almost as if you become cornered into engaging or entertaining this kind of cyberbully. It's not a nice place to be. It's not a nice place to be. I'm sure we've all sort of suffered it from time to time. But it's very bad etiquette.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if these people show these tendencies in their day-to-day life, but contain it a lot better. The people you meet online and when you meet them in person, you'd think they're two different people.
Exactly, and that's just not physically either. You look at some people. I've met people in real life who I've connected with on social media.
Yeah.
When I met them, I didn't recognize them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Seriously, I didn't recognize
them. And that's
them.
not
It's
just
so
referring to their profile picture. That's referring to their mannerism, the way that they talk, you know, the kind of humor and everything else.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
It is completely different. Yeah, it's amazing how that kind of thing happens.
So when we talk about etiquette, are we saying you should be similar, if not the same?
No.
Online.
No, I'm against being similar and same, and here's why. Look, I've been self-employed or in business all my working life practically, right?
Which is a long
6
time.
to 9 months. Yeah, that is a very long time. That's a good few decades. Now, I've always given the advice that if you are in business, if you're a professional, if you're offering any kind of services, it's what's unique about you is going to make you stand out. What's different about you is what's going to sell.
Okay,
right?
I agree, yeah.
Otherwise, look, God's created us all, and if we were all to look identical or become identical, how boring would that be? We were all very unique and different, but even identical twins have their differences, right? When it comes to approach on social media, I think there should be something different about you. There should be, you know, here's the thing about be yourself. People say be yourself. I don't agree with that wholly. I don't think you should just be yourself, because some people are right numpties.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? You're not trying to be like everyone else.
Yeah.
You're trying to be yourself. To what extent or what degree should you be yourself?
Well, it depends on your
who
circumstances. It depends on your circumstances. Look, let's just admit it. Of people who are of ethnic background, you and I, right?
Okay. I'm not ethnic. I'm Scottish.
Okay. All right, mate. Okay. Sorry, that was a bad accent. Yeah,
we can edit that out.
Yeah, we can edit that out. Anyway, people who have multiple ethnicities in their heritage, they naturally have a different form of themselves in different circumstances. Are you telling me you are at work the same person you are at home?
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As we're brought up, if we're going to visit some of our uncles or aunties or relatives, our personalities and behavior reflect that environment.
Yes.
When we're at work, in a professional setting, for example, that might be the quote for you, but you know,
the only time I wear a suit.
No. So when we're at work, we have to have a different thing about us. Yeah, it is. Think about it when we were at school. Were you not different at school than when you were at home? There were some differences. There have to be.
Yeah, of course there is. Well, you're going to behave different amongst your peers than you are with your parents, for example.
Exactly. So yes,
but on social media, are you
a peer or a family member?
Yeah, well, this is it, isn't it?
Well, what if you got family and peers on the same platform as your audience?
What's the etiquette there then? Is it quite acceptable to be a different personality on social media, or is it different shades of the same personality?
I'd say that's more accurate. Displaying different shades of the same person, you're just showing a different side of yourself, or you are suppressing a certain side of yourself based on who. I mean, look, you're not going to swear.
And I wonder if people know that they do that.
I don't think they do. I don't think everybody realizes, because most people who are on social media, I know. Well, I'm sure we all know people who are so different on social media than they are in real life. We've just discussed that a few minutes ago.
Well, on any kind of platform, even on text message or WhatsApp or whatever.
Yeah.
People text or type different to how they talk.
Mate, think about it. ਸਾਡੇ ਕਈ ਖਸਮ ਆਪਣੀ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਚੂਹੇ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ
Okay.
right so you know what I mean maybe that was so it's one of those things you are different in front of different people in the presence of different people. Look,
But it's not a conscious thing.
I don't think it always is. It might be in some cases. I don't think it's as black and white as we think it might be. I think there are a lot of shades of grey in there, more than 50.
I knew that was coming. The second you said shades of grey, I knew that was coming.
But yes, if you want to join in the discussion, we are live on Facebook as well. You can look for Beardos, you can look for Majid Ali, that's my name, and you can connect with me, and you can connect with Ali Khan, spent as the same as James Khan. He's not related.
Oh, that's true. That is as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so you can find both of us on Facebook, and you can see us live on there and join in the conversation. So we were talking about social media etiquette, and we were talking about how best to address things that people do, which are really annoying. We're kind of addressing it here now, and I hope actually what you can do is those of you who have such annoying people, tag them into this video. That's a subtle way. That's a very subtle way of them actually getting the message, isn't it?
So let's sum up then. We've talked about bad media etiquette, social media etiquette.
Yeah.
What's good social media etiquette? What are good habits?
Well, here's the thing. As a policy, I can't say I've never done it, but I rarely delve into religious or political posts, debates.
Wow, that's pretty much maybe 60-70% of content on Facebook, isn't it?
I'm not so
Depending
sure.
on your circles, but if you take out political, so would you say Brexit was political?
Yeah.
So Brexit, not for social media?
Not for me.
Okay.
I might like something.
Isn't
might
that the same thing though?
Yeah, but I won't post anything to do with it. But here's the thing. There are things which I think we have a social responsibility for, especially when you have a public profile or you have any bit of a conscience. You do what you can. So when there are atrocities around the world, when there are things that people may feel, when there's wars going on, that people need help, we need to do our bit. Charity, we need to do our bit. When there are people who need help, we need to do our bit.
Does that fall under political though?
I think it falls under a bit of both, probably, in some cases. I guess it does fall under political. But here's the thing, I try not to put a political angle on it. Like any kind of, like when you show or demonstrate alliances of any one particular side of the argument, I try and stay neutral where I can.
Okay.
So as a general rule, I don't post anything which is controversial. You are controversial.
I'm controversial.
But I don't post anything which would give me that you know what I mean.
You're missing out.
I know
you're missing out.
But
obviously, for branding, it's great, and for what's the word I'm thinking? You're right. In terms of good etiquette, yes, political bias.
But here's the thing: you can get around it by doing it in other ways.
Okay.
You can. I've pressed something on the screen. I don't know what to do with it. Anyway, you can either join private groups where those discussions are taking place and voice your opinions there, because people are already interested in that topic, rather than throwing it down people's throats who aren't even interested in that. Bearing in mind, you've got to look at who your audience is and who's connected with you. So if you want to delve into or indulge into in that kind of conversation, is it not better to go onto a platform or in a group where that kind of discussion is already taking place? People are already interested in that. Let's just take for our...
applied to anything, couldn't it?
Well, yeah, it could. Our charity work, for example, right? So we do charity work, and we've got a group for that charity. And, whatever work that we do or discussions around that topic are taking place in that group.
Okay.
Yeah? So that's one way of doing it. Or you can set up another profile
okay.
and do it that way if you so wanted.
Okay, so political bias, religious content falls under bad etiquette, possibly?
I won't say it's bad etiquette.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's playing safe.
Okay. So what's good
It's
etiquette?
risk management.
Okay, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Little plug there. Okay, so what's good etiquette then? How do you keep your social media clean? Shall we say clean?
Well, I'm not an expert on the matter,
Okay.
but from
Well,
what,
you have social media, don't you?
everyone uses social media.
Yeah.
So from my experience, I can only go by my experience on what's worked for me. I would say, just be nice. Just be a nice
Do you know
person.
what?
It's as simple as that.
It's so underrated.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's heavy on the scales.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't underestimate being nice. You don't have to agree with someone in order to be polite to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And this is another place where people so often fail. You know, this is a hurdle which we stumble on.
Exactly. But why though? Why do you think that is? Why do people fail to show good etiquettes on social media? Why is it they fail to be nice?
I think part of us carries the effects of cyberbullying. So if we've had, not an altercation, but if we've had a discussion, a debate with someone who sits on the opposite side of the fence, and it's been a little bit colourful, shall we say,
Yeah.
I don't think that wears off. We don't really shrug it off too quickly. So when that topic next arises, and we're again discussing with someone who's of the alternative opinion,
Yeah.
we carry some of that. What's the word? Like our guard is up.
Yeah.
You know.
So again, they're not able to appreciate. Look, you're more intelligent to appreciate that people can have a difference of opinion without accepting that opinion.
Yes.
Right? You get it? So you can engage with someone and appreciate that their opinion is different to yours.
Yeah.
Their view on life is different to yours. And that comes down to, what we say in NLP usually is that everyone has their own versions of the world.
Yes.
Right? And their opinion may be based on their experiences and their environment and their upbringing, education.
Yeah,
There's so many different things. Yeah, their life. So I think it's a higher form of emotional intelligence when you can appreciate that that's an opinion, but not accept it as a valid opinion. It's an opinion, fine. You have your opinion. I don't accept the opinion.
You don't adopt it.
You don't
but
adopt
you accept it. Your understanding of it.
Yeah.
It's a mutual
Yeah.
thing, isn't it? Very seldom see somebody cross that fence, as in sit on one side of the scale. I'm going to use Tories and Labour as an example. I don't really support or condone either. But you'll never really see a Labour supporter on Facebook having discussions and thinking, oh wait, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's either this or
And
the
now
other.
a Tory, yeah.
Right.
We're
people,
very set
as
in our ways.
Abid says, there's one of our viewers, Abid says, from Muslims, and he's saying that people become macho behind keyboards.
Of course, yeah. Cyberbullies. But what is it that stops us from ingesting what other people have to say? Like, why is it in a Facebook thread you'll never see somebody halfway down stop and say, actually that's a valid point.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I agree with you. Yeah,
that doesn't happen.
it doesn't.
In
Why
my
though?
experience, that hasn't
Why doesn't it happen though? That's the real question, isn't it?
That's the question for the listeners.
Yeah, it's a good question. Listen, if you're listening to this, why do you think? Put it in the comments. Why do you think, if people are engaging with someone who they didn't initially agree with, but they've been presented with something, a proposal of an idea, which is totally valid, and they would, under normal circumstances, agree with it and say, actually,
evidence is logic.
Logic, evidence, but they still won't say that. Why would people not admit to agreeing? Abid says social media is dangerous and it has no boundaries. Eddie says we are in a hostile world at the moment. It was Brexit and now panic. People hide behind the screen and no one can get to them.
Brexit's one example.
Yeah, go on.
I don't think, for all of the months of, be it scaremongering, be it arguing backwards and forwards and everything, I don't think social media influenced as much as 10% of people's opinions who were already on one thought. So if somebody is pro-Brexit,
Yeah.
you can throw the kitchen sink at them
It won't
via
change them.
social media. You're not changing
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
So all it is really is it's not even a discussion.
Well,
Really.
here's the thing. When people post things on social media, again, coming back to etiquette, without checking the evidences of what they're posting, what about what's happening now with the shortage of flour, rice, and all that, all the ingredients? And people are complaining about the high prices of meat, for example. This is an important topic. But here's the thing. I see people going straight for the jugular when it comes to the retailers.
Yeah.
But they're not for one moment considering, could it possibly be that the suppliers have hiked the prices?
It's a knock-on effect, isn't it?
Generally, we would say this is basic economics, supply and demand,
Yeah.
right? If the supply is high, or the supply is low and the demand is high, naturally the prices are going to increase.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But that happens with commodities.
That's business, isn't it?
That happens with business, and it happens mostly with commodities. But here's the thing. With any business that goes from product-based, that will happen, or even service-based, it would happen. The question is, have we got our facts right when it comes to the actual pricing in the shops? Now, if you go to the shop, the people in the shop are saying that actually it's not our fault. The suppliers.
I've seen a few shopkeepers who are not enjoying this one bit.
But why do we not believe them? Why are we still? Could it be partially that? Could it be partially
So the question is, do we have our facts right? I think that the actual question should be, do we have our facts intact?
This is the question. This is the foundational question.
I don't think we do.
I don't think we do either. So Nab says, because people think that others think they are weak, that's referring to why do people behave like that. They think if they backtrack and change their decision, they are indecisive, or that they're not well versed. I suppose that it comes to that they don't know what they're talking about. I suppose people can think that. Abid says social media is just a smaller sister of the big brother, which is media in general. Mohammed says, Nab says,
that's quite profound. Actually, I like that.
Yes,
it's true.
Nab says perception is a very big thing. Well, perception is reality. What is perceived is what you perceive to be reality. What you perceive is your reality. It might not be true. It's your perception of things. That's in turn your reality. Peer pressure again. Nab. Eddie says most of it is false news and no facts to prove it. Nab says, how would one be seen in society if they changed what they thought? Well,
I would say,
log kya kahenge?
Yeah.
Log kya kahenge? What will people say? How long will we continue to live that kind of a life where we're just going to be doing the wrong thing because of what people might say? So we're substituting the right thing with the wrong thing because of the fear of what people might say. That in itself is wrong.
Yeah. That's not the right reason to do anything. Because if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
Yeah.
So just because you've always done
I don't think that's true anymore. I don't think that's true anymore.
Okay.
It used to be a case of if you only did what you've always done, you only get what you already have.
Yeah.
But the world is moving fast forward that if you only did what you've always done, you'll be left behind.
Well, yeah.
The rate of progress is so far faster,
yeah.
You'll get even less than what you had before.
Yeah. So that we can maybe adapt that a little bit to reflect today's age. But football clubs, touchy subject, I'm sorry. But just because your father or your grandfather supported a certain football club, I don't think you owe them anything. It's a sport.
Yeah.
If a team's not very good, like no hints,
Admit it.
but if you were good once upon a time, you thought, yeah, that's a good club. I like that. I like the way they play. I like the players. I like the management. And now they're not very good. What's it take to accept that? Yeah, you know what? Actually, they're not.
Well, or you could be like one of our friends who has a T-shirt for most of the popular clubs and then just whack it on.
I think that's the way forward. I think that is the way forward. If you're a football fan, you appreciate good football.
Yeah.
But if you're a fan of a certain club and it's just some kind of loyalty or allegiance, then
isn't that Bradri system as they call it in our?
Well, yeah, that's
it becomes
what
a Bradri, doesn't it?
Yeah. This is it. Where does it end?
Where does it end? Well, look, going back to in terms of etiquettes, I think it's very important people to have a bit more of an open mind about things, and the same goes with people bullying people or making comments. Or here's the thing, people, just because it's you and see you as a threat, and I've seen this happen so many times.
We're not talking about me, right? Because I'm not very threatening.
Not you.
Okay, cool.
Well, it might be. I don't know. You will know better. You will know better. Just because it's you, they will not interact with your posts. They're just there to watch what you're doing. That's it. Some people understand that interacting with posts gives it leverage, right? So when you're interacting with someone's social media post, the way the algorithms work, it shows that, this is relevant. Show it to more people.
Yeah.
Show it to more of their audience. So when you're doing that and you're interacting with someone's post, it increases the post coverage. And because some people don't simply or feel threatened by you, or they feel that they're going to be overshadowed in any way, they will not interact with other people's posts. And I've seen that
for that reason.
For that reason, I've seen some of my male friends who will only interact, or mostly interact with female people's posts, and that's like really weird. Thinking, why would you do that? Come on, man, help a brother out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, to be fair, this is likes, shares, comments.
Just
are a currency of their own, aren't they?
They are a currency. Just on that note, Abdul Shakur said, I did have a beard, but can I still be on the show that I no longer have one? Dig the setup. Listen, Abdul Shakur, we've got beards. No, the other ones as well. So we've ordered.
There's other ones?
There are other ones. I've ordered fake beards. So when we have guests on the show, this is the Beardos, right? You will be given a beard. So whoever comes on the show as a guest, they'll be given a beard as a gift, and they can be one of the Beardos. And you can actually style your tash on that as well. So if you're wanting, we might do something there. So Mohammed's saying Wuku and the rest of his Potwari stuff. Papa Ali Khan, don't say that live. Man's gonna get hyped up, and the keyboard warriors will definitely come out. Eddie says, just look at the England team. No one supports them till they start winning. Then everyone becomes sheep.
See,
that's a classic, isn't it?
England.
So okay. Eddie also says, just finish off these. Eddie also says, my mentor says it's better to be a shepherd, not a sheep. But a shepherd will admit it if they get it wrong, as it makes them a better shepherd. And Abdul Shakur says, is it as smooth as yours? The beard? No. How can it be? Come on, man. Come on,
real
man.
Is real, isn't it?
This is it. Yeah, it's got to be genuine. Genuine, my friend. So, yeah. Over to you. Yes. What were you going to say about the England team?
The England team, yeah, I get it. I see where Eddie's coming from.
I'm not into football, and I watched, World Cup, if they get to the quarter-final, semi-final, I'll start watching it.
Well, the thing is...
But that's not because I have
Are you a football fan?
No.
Or are you a certain team fan, club
I'll watch it out of curiosity. If they win, I'll say, Mubarak.
Yeah.
Or Mubarak. Right? But that's about it. Yeah.
Red Devil fans or, Scouts fans, whatever it is, that defies logic.
Yeah.
To me, that doesn't make sense. And I think those are the same sort of characteristics, those same tendencies that people carry over into other aspects of life.
Yeah.
If you're Labour, you're Labour. If you're Tory, you're Tory. If you're pro-Brexit, you're pro-Brexit.
I would be interested to know from our especially anybody actually. I would be interested to know, do any of you follow or support a political party in contrast to your parents? Like different to your parents. So here's the thing: if you have,
well, we know that is the case because
like actively, what percentage of you would actually oppose your own parents and say, no, I'm not voting for them? This isn't a debate about whether voting and not voting is actually halal or haram.
That in itself is commendable if somebody can do that.
Yeah,
and we know because the amount of youngsters who got behind Jeremy Corbyn was immense. It was amazing. I think more people than ever registered to vote. More people openly supported him. Came from traditional sort of Tory households and whatever. Pakistan.
Yeah.
Imran Khan. BTI came out of nowhere. It didn't even exist as a party.
Very true.
Whereas the parents of that generation were pro. I don't even want to mention his name.
Yeah.
But they were pro other parties.
Other parties, yeah.
And they kind of swore some kind of loyalty till the day they died, regardless of.
But you see, from them, it's not even loyalty to that particular leader. Pakistan politics is very, very different. It's more localized. You will vote for somebody who's in your area because you think that voting for them, it doesn't matter which party they associate them or attribute it to, they'll vote for them because they feel they'll get more done through them because there's more of a closer proximity with them.
But then how is that perceived on social media? If you know, and I'm not saying anybody is or isn't, but if you know a certain party, certain leader, certain whatever is corrupt or less than, honorable, how do you then defend them on social media? How do you show good social media etiquette when you know that you're defending the devil, so to speak?
Yeah, that's going to always be a matter of opinion, isn't it?
Is it opinion or is it
sometimes, even if it's based on facts, even if what you're saying is based on facts, it goes back to what Mohammed Nab was saying. Log kya kahenge? I'll backtrack. Here's the thing. A lot of the times, people... Look, I feel that most of the population is more sincere and good-hearted than we give them credit for. I don't think there are...
Yes.
Yeah, I think there are more people who do things through sincerity than just for the sake of doing it, even though they may be going down the wrong path sometimes. Sometimes, do you see what I mean? There are times when people might be supporting a certain side of any narrative based on what they feel is right, even because they may not be...
I actually consider that quite commendable.
Yeah.
For somebody to be able to say, look, you know what, I was reading it wrong, or I was seeing it wrong, and now I get it.
Exactly. And that's why we shouldn't put them down.
No.
And that's why we shouldn't put anybody down. We should give everybody the benefit of that. But again, that comes with age and a certain level of experience. You come to understand, hang on, there is a possibility this person may have misunderstood it or may not be privy to the whole of that information for them to have derived to that particular conclusion. Like Abdul Shakur is saying, on the topic of social bullying, I think many people who achieve some level of success are easily attacked and labeled by those they intimidate. As a younger business owner, I've witnessed this firsthand, and it's the reason why our communities have low levels of aspiration. That's interesting. I've known Abdul Shakur online for a few years now, and the man's on fire. And I've seen some of the people make some kinds of comments on some of his posts. Abdul Shakur, to be honest with you, I would say just do your own thing, and you have done, and that's commendable. And look how far you have gone at your age, mashallah. May the Almighty bless you with more and increase your rizq and put barakah in there. You're doing very well, and that's partially because you've shown grit. And he's a good example of somebody who shows grit, resilience, and just forget about this log kya kahenge business. What will people say?
Do we actually still believe that?
I think there are.
Log kya kahenge
there are loads
very...
of people. Yes, look, it's ingrained in some people. They still do it. Again, the environment that they've been brought up in. Listen, we've just got a couple of minutes left before we come to the end of the show. I hope you found this somewhat valuable. It's always going to be a bit of a business banter and beyond. With myself and Ali. We are going to be live, inshallah, every Tuesday around 6 o'clock. So stay tuned, stay connected, share the podcast and everything else that you see around.
Yeah, definitely. And keep interacting.
Some
fantastic points made today by some of the viewers, listeners. Food for thought, definitely. I agree with some of those.
Yeah, thank you for the comments. All your comments have been appreciated. So, join us again. We are the Beardos, Business Banter and Beyond, this time next Tuesday. Have a great week.